Previously on Hannibal.
I want you to help me, Dr. Lecter. You've read about it.
This is a very shy boy, Will. I would love to meet him.
I'm Francis Dollarhide.
Miss McLean, can I give you a ride home?
Have you considered the possibility that he may believe he's disfigured?
May I touch your face? I just want to know if you're smiling or frowning.
I'm smiling.
Hello, Dr. Lecter.
What are you becoming?
A great red dragon.
State Hospital.
Hello. My name is Byron Metcalf. I'm Hannibal Lecter's lawyer.
One moment, please.
How old?
Hello.
Hello. Dr. Lecter. As an avid fan, I wanted to tell you that I am delighted that you have taken an interest in me. I don't believe you would tell them who I am, even if you knew.
What particular body you currently occupy is trivial.
I knew that you alone would understand this. The important thing is what I am becoming.
Tell me. What are you becoming?
The great red dragon. I've admired you for years. And I have a complete collection of your press notices. Actually, I think of them as unfair reviews.
As unfair as yours. They like to sling demeaning nicknames, don't they?
Tooth Fairy.
What could be more inappropriate?
It would shame me for you to see that. If I didn't know that you have suffered the same distortions in the press.
You've read Freddie Lounce's latest.
It's not a good picture of you.
Your speech is bent and pruned by disabilities. Real and imagined, but your words are startling.
I want to be recognized by you.
As John the Baptist recognized the one who came after.
I want to sit before you as the dragon sat before 666 in Revelation. I have things I would love to show you. Someday, if circumstances permit, I would like to meet you and watch you meld with the strength of the dragon.
See how magnificent you are. Did he who made the lamb make thee?
I awoke in the fresh-smelling semi-dark, knowing in some primal way that I was near the sea. Day and evening again, the smell of fresh flowers, and the vague awareness of a needle bleeding into me. He never called me my name. That was strange at first. And then it wasn't strange. And then my name was Lydia Fell. Deeply felt truths about myself as Bedelia de Maurier were smoke and mirrors of the highest order. What we take for granted about our sense of self, everything we see, everything we remember, is nothing more than a construct of the mind. Dante was the first to conceive of hell as a planned space, an urban environment. Before Dante, we spoke not of the gates of hell, but of the mouth of hell. My journey to damnation began when I was swallowed by the beast. Thank you.
Poor Dr. du Maurier. Swallowed whole. Suffering inside Hannibal Lecter's bowels for what must have felt like an eternity. You didn't lose yourself, Bedelia. You just crawled so far up his ass you couldn't be bothered.
Hello, Will.
You hitched your star to a man commonly known as a monster. You're the bride of Frankenstein.
We've both been his bride.
How'd you manage to walk away unscarred? I'm covered in scars.
I wasn't myself. You were. Even when you weren't, you were.
I wasn't wearing adequate armor.
No. You were naked. Have you been to see him?
Yes.
You haven't learned your lesson, have you? Or did you just miss him that much?
Have you been to see him?
I've seen enough of him. I was with him behind the veil. You were always on the other side.
Something we should talk about.
You'll have to make an appointment.
We're at the zoo. Why are we at the zoo? It's cold for the zoo.
Did you ever see a tiger?
No.
They're working on its tooth. And they have to put him to sleep. If you want, you can touch him. You want to do it?
It's in here. How do I know he's sound asleep?
Tickle him.
Do you have a general impression? I can describe as much as you like. Put your left hand on the edge of the table. You can explore with your right. Take your time.
D? I'd like you to tell me what you see. If you don't mind.
He's striking. Orange, black stripes. The orange is so bright. So almost bleeding into the air around him. It's radiant. I'm right here with you.
was a very elegant gesture. Eloquent, too. Maybe the most eloquent thing I ever heard of. That tiger, this house. You're full of surprises, Dee. I don't think anyone at Gateway knows you at all.
Did you ask him?
No.
Then how do you know nobody knows me?
Because they wonder about you. They wonder about everything. They find you very mysterious.
Did they tell you how I look?
I didn't ask them. But yes, they told me. Do you want to hear it? Don't ask if you don't. I think I'll tell you. They said you have a kind of hard, clean neatness that they like. They say you're very sensitive about your face and that you shouldn't be. Where the hell are you? Ah. Here you are. Do you want to know what I think? Hope I didn't shock you.
morning.
I really had a terrific time, Dee.
Me too.
But I need to go home now.
Yes. Good. I'll take you now.
Go behind your work table. If you approach the barrier before you hear the lock snap, I'll mace you in the face. Understand?
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Denise.
Are you ready for your call?
Yes, please.
You've reached the offices of Brian. Operator.
Operator, I don't have the use of my hands. Could you please ring 667 JL5 0102?
Of course. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Dr. Frederick Chilton's office.
Is this Linda?
Linda doesn't come in on weekends.
Maybe you could help me if you don't mind. This is Bob Dreer at Blaine and Edwards Publishing. Dr. Chilton asked me to send a copy of his book to someone, and Linda was supposed to give me the address and phone number, but she never did.
She'll be in on Monday.
I have to catch Federal Express in about 5 minutes, and I don't want to bother Frederick at home. It's right there in his contacts. I'll dance at your wedding, if you read it to me.
I'm opening the file.
I'll be a darling and slide the cursor down to the letter G. Give it a click and I'll be out of your hair.
All right. What was the name?
Graham. Will Graham.
Have you had any contact with him?
He sends me greeting cards on Christian holidays and my birthday. He always includes a recipe.
If he does end up eating you, Bedelia, you'd have it coming.
I can't blame him for doing what evolution has equipped him to do.
Well, if we just do whatever evolution equipped us to do, murder and cannibalism are morally acceptable.
They are acceptable to murderers and cannibals. And you.
And you. You lied, Bedelia. You do that a lot. Why do you do that a lot?
I obfuscate. Hannibal was never not my patient. Covert treatment suffers secrecy and disapproval.
Covert because Hannibal was an uncooperative patient?
Covert because I was a cooperative psychiatrist. Do no harm.
And did you?
I did. Technically.
You dared to care.
Not the first time I've lost professional objectivity in a matter where Hannibal is concerned.
What did he tell you?
What do you think he told me?
I think he told you that I'm paranoid.
Are you?
Yes. But that's not to suggest I don't have good reason to be.
You don't trust Dr. Lecter?
No, there's something wrong with Dr. Lecter.
Did you think that way before he ended the doctor-patient relationship?
And it's why he ended it. He knew I knew. I went to him mildly depressed, had trouble sleeping. I ended up wildly depressed, not sleeping at all.
You believe your condition worsened under Dr. Lecter's care?
Care? He told me to eat more red meat and wrote a prescription.
And have you been taking the medication he prescribed?
Hell no. He wanted to administer phototherapy to advance my circadian rhythms, help me sleep. But it wasn't phototherapy. He stuck me in front of a light, and I woke up somewhere else.
Dr. Lecter told me you had a seizure response to phototherapy.
No, he did something to me.
You experienced a traumatic event that you now associate with Dr. Lecter.
I nearly choked on my own tongue, and he remained indifferent.
How is one patient worthy of compassion and another not?
I'm under no illusions how morally consistent my compassion has been. How is one murderer worthy of compassion and not another?
All that time you were with Hannibal, behind the veil, you'd already killed one patient. Did it ever occur to you to kill another?
My relationship with Hannibal is not as passionate as yours. You are here visiting an old flame. Is your wife aware of how intimately you and Hannibal know each other?
She's aware enough.
You couldn't save Hannibal. Do you think you can save this new one? Your experience of Hannibal's attention is so profoundly harmful, yet so irresistible. It undermines your ability to think rationally.
I am thinking rationally.
You've made some very serious accusations.
Actionable accusations?
Yes.
And have you taken action?
Is that what you want me to do?
Isn't that what you're supposed to do on my behalf? And you haven't.
I am not firmly convinced it would be in your best interest.
I'm not firmly convinced you give a rat's ass about my best interests. Do you believe me?
I believe you are experiencing a lack of insight. I am trying to assist you in regaining enough insight that you realize that you require medication.
And what medication would you prescribe, Dr. DeMaurier?
I would prescribe exactly the medication Dr. Lecter prescribed and you refused.
You know, whatever this is why Scientologists hate psychiatry.
What do you think this is?
Yeah, of course he would refer me to you. You're just as twisted as he is.
You're walking down the street, and you see a wounded bird in the grass. What's your first thought?
It's vulnerable. I want to help it.
My first thought is also that it's vulnerable. And yet, I want to crush it. A primal rejection of weakness, which is every bit as natural as the nurturing instinct. Of course, I wouldn't crush it. first thought is to do just that.
You know, I gave up free will. I continue to act and feel as though I have it, but I don't. The only reason that I'm here is that that's what was prescribed.
Neil, sit down.
No, no. This is culty and weird.
One thing I learned from Hannibal is the alchemy of lies and truths. It's how he convinced you were a killer.
You're not convinced.
You're not a killer. You are capable of righteous violence because you are compassionate.
How are you capable?
Extreme acts of cruelty require a high level of empathy. The next time you have an instinct to help someone, you might consider crushing them instead. It might save you a great deal of trouble.
It was done carefully and cleanly with a very sharp knife. It was not the work of a child.
It's a Chinese character, which means you hit it. An expression sometimes used in gambling.
A lucky sign. The character also appears on a mahjong tile, marks the red dragon.
And behold, a great red dragon. Are you familiar with William Blake's The Great Red Dragon and the Woman Clothed in Sun? Blake's dragon stands over a pleading woman caught in the coil of its tail. Few images in Western art radiate such a unique and nightmarish charge of demonic sexuality.
The man who killed the Jacobys and the Leedses saw something in them that drew him and drove him to do it. He chose them because something in them spoke to him.
The Jacobys were the first to help him. The first to lift him into the glory of his becoming. The Jacobys were better than anything he knew.
Until the Leedses.
As the dragon grows in strength and glory, there are families to come.
I have to believe there is a common factor. And we will find it. Soon.
Otherwise, you have to enter more houses and see what the dragon has left for you. 11 days to the next full moon. Tick tock. I like this dragon, Will. I don't think he's crazy at all. I think he might be quite sane. A magnificent thing to watch the world through his red haze.
Sign the register, please.
Painting study, Miss Harper.
Mr. Crane, I'm Paula Harper. You called about the Blake watercolor? Come with me, I'll show it to you. You'll need this. The museum is closed to the general public on Tuesdays, but art class and researchers are admitted. May I ask what you're researching?
Paper on Butts.
On Thomas Butts. You only see him in footnotes as a patron of Blake's. Is he interesting?
I'm just beginning.
We have to keep it in this box because light will fade it. That's why it's not on display often. You understand you're not allowed to touch it. I'll display it for you. That's the rule, okay? Isn't it stunning? Even the best reproductions can't possibly do the colors justice. It appears he used chalk as well as...
Just this way, Mr. Graham. You know, you're the second person who's asked to see the Blake today. Wait here. Paula, I have another visitor for the Great Red Dragon. Paula.